Welcome to Being Real with Olivia. My name is Olivia Olinger and I love movies and shows. A couple times a week, I'll post recap videos of every episode in Arcane. This is the second video, so if you haven't seen the first video already, go check it out. Let's get started. The opening scene in Arcane Episode 2 is of a man named Jayce. It was taking place during the first episode when Vi and Powder were on the heist and broke into his office. It was his point of view as he was trying to get into his office, but when the Powder drops the orb and it explodes, it knocks him backwards, causing him to hit his head and get knocked out, where he gets a flashback. In the flashback, younger Jayce and his mom were walking through a snowstorm, a really bad one, to the point where Jayce's mom couldn't handle it and was growing weak. A mysterious man finds them and manipulates a crystal that seems to control time and space, sending Jayce and his mom to safety, leaving Jayce with a new aspiration that ignites his fascination with magic since it saved him and his mom's life. This experience shapes his ambition and character as the series goes on. After the opening scene, we are seeing the destruction the blue orb caused in Jayce's office. The few remaining items he had, though, were illegal and unauthorized by the council. He was attempting to harness magic through science. Since Jayce's science experiment blew up half a building, naturally it was deemed dangerous, and he now has to face the council for his punishment. He was being held in prison until the council meeting, where we come across Professor Heimerdinger, who is a brilliant inventor in some sort of cat-mouse thing? Orange, fluffy? I'm not so sure what he is, but he's cute. He warns Jayce to stop messing with magic, since it is unpredictable and needs to be left alone. And since Professor Heimerdinger is like 400 years old and has seen all the destruction magic has caused through the past, he's like, hey Jayce, I don't need you messing up my new home. Back in Zaun, Piltover enforcers are searching for who caused the destruction, all throughout the city. They notice Vi and Powder and go to see if they have any of the stolen items. Since Powder still has the blue orbs, they run away from the guards and their friend Echo saves them. I don't know why Powder keeps them in like this satchel thing when they're incredibly dangerous and blew up half the side of a building. I definitely would not be carrying them around with me. But whatever she's got to do. Meanwhile, at the council meeting, Jayce, unsurprisingly, goes against Professor Heimerdinger's warning and explains to the council how he believes he can create and harness magic. The council doesn't believe him, and they don't want Piltover to be destroyed, so they expel him from the academy and discontinue his study. If only he would have listened to Professor Heimerdinger and just shut his mouth, then he probably still could have been at the academy, but nope. He just embarrassed himself more. Anywho, if you remember the scary man from the first episode who had like the one eye that was really messed up, he came back in this episode. The purple goo that he used in the last episode on the mouse, he now decided to use it on a person, the boy from the first episode. It looked like it worked. They didn't really show us much. It definitely sounded like it worked. The boy was screaming in pain, and you could like just hear the ripping of the skin and the monstrous transformation. I really feel bad for that boy, but also, he got himself in that situation. After the council meeting, Jayce was feeling very hopeless. He goes back to his old office and was planning to, jump, if you know what I mean. But thankfully, Victor stops him, giving Jayce back his notebook that contains all of his notes and studies of his magic and science experiments. Victor reveals that he was originally from the underside. He is Professor Heimerdinger's assistant who worked his way up in the ranks. He wants to go behind Professor Heimerdinger's back and help Jayce with his magic and science studies and experiments. Back in Zaun, Piltover guards have been snooping around the area more and more. Since Vander doesn't want to fight, and the guards are only going to keep coming, Vi decides to turn herself in. She sends a message to the Piltover captain, Grayson, leaving the episode on a cliffhanger, to see if Vi will get captured or if someone will end up saving her. Since I didn't really touch on this much in my first review, I just want to go over how beautiful the show is. Even in the dark, dingy, terrifying city of Zaun, there's so much to look at and see. So many, background characters and buildings that really add to the vibe and the feel of the scariness. And they really play on those dark colors, like dark greens and purples and blues and blacks. And the characters look all rough. And Piltover, it's obviously gorgeous with its gold and blue and lighter colors. I love the designs of the characters, the animation, graphics. It has a fun style that's between like realistic people and cartoon animated characters. In this episode, we have seen the problems caused by the heist, how the whole city of Zaun is in danger now from the Piltover guards coming down there. We have also been introduced to new characters like Jayce and Professor Heimerdinger, who have a fascination with magic and science. I'm excited to see Jayce's studies and see if he really can harness magic with science and create it and control it without there being any issues. And I'm excited to see what happens to Vi next. If she ends up getting captured and turning herself in, or if something else happens to stop that. And also, in some dark and twisted way, I'm excited to see what that scary man will do with the boy that he used the purple goo on, if he even survived. That's all for this episode. This episode, they were just introducing new characters and showing what was going on in Piltover, and they were also reflecting what happened because of the heist down in Zaun. Stay tuned for the next episodes as we see how this all ties together to reveal the main plot. Make sure to comment your thoughts on the show or this episode, and like and subscribe if you joined the vid. Also, don't forget to ring that notification bell so you don't miss any more videos. I'll see you around.